Hello again, and welcome to No Bull Real Estate. I am Katie McCurtney, your host, and in this episode, I am going to talk about ethics. I'm going to explore how many ethic documents do Ohio licensees and the consumer need to be aware of, and what should the consumer understand about being a licensed real estate agent. So let's get started. I am a licensed real estate broker in the state of Ohio. This podcast/vlog is a mix of factual information and opinions. Be sure to do your own research and draw your own conclusions. This is mainly for entertainment. Welcome back. And for those of you who are viewing this on a podcast or just listening and not watching here on my YouTube channel, I have up right now two documents. One is and right now it's displaying the canons of ethics for the real estate industry. And the other one is the Code of Ethics and Standard of Practice of the National Association of Realtors. So the first thing you need to understand about the real estate industry, in order for someone to buy, sell, lease, anything in that capacity for another person, consumer, we have to have a licensure, okay? Our licensure in the state of Ohio is through the Division of Real Estate. And so when you become a real estate agent, you get your licensure through the state of Ohio. But you also have to have a broker that's backing you when you get your licensure. You cannot just get your license and not have a broker that you're affiliated with. It doesn't work. So with that point, everybody who has a real estate licensure in the state of Ohio has to follow the canons of ethics for the real estate industry. Both the canons and the code was put in place to protect the consumer. There's a lot of knowledge that goes on when you go into the industry that is to the disadvantage of the consumer, of everyday people who don't study this. So a lot of this was developed in the early 1900s. I'm not sure about the canons. I know the Code of Ethics, through the National Association of Realtors, was developed in the early 1900s, 1913 to be precise. And a lot of that was because there was a lot of people who would swindle others and do things that was not consumer friendly in a lot of ways. So this document, the Canons of Ethics, which is through, again, the state of Ohio, is directly connected to our license, right? So if we get brought up on the Canons of Ethics, you would go to the division and file a complaint through the Division of Real Estate. And we would be brought up on charges with these articles. Now, how we become realtors is based on our brokerage. If our brokerage is a member of a local association, then we become a realtor with that broker's membership. If a broker is not a member of the local association, then the canons is what binds us all. All right, so what makes a realtor different versus a real estate agent? One of the things that makes a big difference being a realtor is that we would get access to the multiple listing system, which is a system that is conducted to help all of us cooperate with one another. Okay, so that's basically the biggest in my opinion, the biggest crux of being a realtor is that multiple listing system. So when you go into a brokerage and you become a realtor, there's 3 tiers. You subscribe to the local association, and there's the state association, and then there's the national association. And from there, the difference between the code of ethics and the canons is the fact that the code is governed by our peers. Other realtors govern and mitigate any issues when it comes to the code of ethics. The canons, is mainly governed by the state of Ohio and the Division of Real Estate. There's no peer review, nothing like that. It goes directly to the state and is directly tied to our licensure. Now, that doesn't mean the code of ethics has no teeth at all. So how the process works, there is a grievance committee and a professional standards. The grievance committee is made up of realtors of all different backgrounds and all different size brokerages. And what happens is when a complaint is sent to us, we review the complaint, the narrative, and the articles tied to that narrative. If we have any questions, so if we want more information, we can ask for that. But if the narrative is pretty straightforward and we have a lot of evidence, and we need evidence in a lot of ways, then we send it up to professional standards. From there, professional standards takes a look at it. They ask the person in question whether or not they violated it. If they say, yeah, I don't need a trial, it's not really a trial, but I don't need to meet, then, and they admit to actually doing the or going against the code, then a fine and education is usually issued. If they decide to fight it and they decide to face the person in a kind of, court's not the right word, but a mitigation situation, then they have their time in front of their peers to talk about their side of the story. And also the plaintiff, the person who filed the complaint, can be there to talk about their side of their narrative also. So there is that side of it. Usually, like I said, it's a fine and an education, and it all depends. It depends upon how many times you do this, and usually after the first time, people. I haven't seen repeat offenders. I'm on the grievance committee. I haven't seen repeat offenders at this point. So what should a consumer understand? Basically, there is one ethics that all of us who have a licensure in the state of Ohio in real estate are bound to, the canons of ethics. If you have that extra level of being a member of the National Association of Realtors, then you also have the code of ethics that you are bound to. This does not precede law. Law does come first and takes precedence, but 9 out of 10, these code of ethics, especially this one at the National Association of Realtors, is at a higher level. All right, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm happy to field anything, and I hope you have a great day. Congratulations, you made it to the end. I'm impressed. Now do all the proper things. Subscribe and or hit the notification bell. I would love to have a conversation with you, so don't be shy and drop me a line. Until another time, make it a great day.